Oh, shit, I forgot. Alright, I'll be right there, people. I just forgot to share the show there. Oh, come on. "55 people. Holy shit." Welcome back, Lelanders, to a new episode of Amico content. I don't know why I always talk like that during the intro, sorry. But anyways, yeah, today we're going to be discussing the possibility, hypothetical, don't want to get myself into prison here. Well, we're probably already on that road. But anyways, yeah, we're going to be discussing the Amico legal battles. I know I sent a question into Pat and Ian at the CU podcast, and I asked them about what they thought about the lawsuits coming. And I don't know if they've aired the question on the show yet. Anyone can put it in the chat below if they happen to see in their response to my question. I haven't had time to watch their show a lot lately, so I got to get caught up on it. But alright, so in today's episode we'll be discussing what are the possibilities that all of the Intellivision employees could actually be facing prison time. And we're not looking at just fines. I think some states in the US have up to 6 months in jail for when it comes to investment scandals and stuff. So yeah, this is a pretty serious situation. I know the Amico videos and Intellivision have been kind of funny and joking, and nothing's really that serious other than investors losing millions of dollars. So I think what we'll discuss in today's episode, just to try to be as fair and open and unbiased as possible in this situation, is we'll look at the possibilities of the lawsuits facing Intellivision, and we'll also look at the lawsuit possibility facing the YouTubers that covered the Intellivision Amico. And if anyone's wondering right off the bat, how the hell would YouTubers get into trouble for this? There's actually a law in the US called libel. And if anyone's heard of it, when you mock people and ruin their business, depending what state you live in, you can actually face prison and like millions of dollars in fines. And guess what happens to be one of the states with the worst libel laws of all? Where Pat and Ian live, in California. So they're literally facing, well, allegedly facing like huge fines, enough to bankrupt most people, and time in prison. So yeah, and it could be the Tommy and his crew as well. So we'll get over it all. Today we got a bunch of slides. We got, what is it? I don't know, 10, 15 websites here. We're gonna check out all the facts and information. And I just watched No Swear Gamer, and Pat and Ian got some more updates. Yeah, I should say that. I watched Pat and Ian's latest video today, but I didn't see their archive of all the videos they've done the past week or two. So I'll have to get caught up on that one. I actually just watched their live stream before I recorded this. So anyways, let's begin. No one's here yet, so I'll just go right ahead and we'll begin with, let's see, where should we begin? Let's go with the Intellivision Start Engine campaign. If anyone's seen No Swear Gamer's latest video, he did some excellent breakdowns of this, and we'll check it out and try to offer something more that he hasn't talked about yet. Right, so here's the crowdfunding campaign. Oh yeah, this is what I was going to say too. A lot of people, when I bring in the chat, guess what they say?
Leland, it's just crowdfunding. No one's going to in jail for investment scams. When you invest in crowdfunding, it's fine if you just lose everything.
So that's probably true in most cases, even though they're a really whiny voice. No, but when it comes to Tommy, he might have actually bit on his own foot, or how do they say it? Put your foot in your mouth, is when he was going on about how he isn't crowdfunding, he's getting investors. So that's the big difference here, right? We're looking at investor scandals, not crowdfunding scandals. Well, technically it is scandals both, because I think really at this point, no one can deny that Intellivision Amico, they've done both regular investments and crowdfunding, and I'm not an investment guru. I know really nothing about investing, so if anyone wants to correct in the chat stuff I get wrong here, really appreciate it. Now, I make mistakes all the time, and as much as I make fun of, Pat and Ian for getting stuff wrong all the time, I'm guilty of the same thing. No, one thing we'll cover today is Pat went on a huge rant on his live stream today, talking about how he argued with, who is it, Tommy? And he called him saying bullshit that Intellivision has sold 3 million copies of the console. So, I guess, yeah, let's go that. I forgot to get that one open, so we'll bring it. How many copies of Intellivision sold? Console. Let's try again. How many Intellivision
According to Codex Gamicus fandom, there are 130 games for the Intellivision. 3 million, according to some information I found on Wikipedia.
So it sounds like they're saying 3 million, right? So, let's see, block that. I'll just put in my headphones, make sure someone's not talking while I am. Alright, we're good to go. Yeah, unless my headphones aren't working. So anyways, yeah, so how many of the Intellivisions have sold? Oh, Show Me Metro just jumped in the chat. This is actually where we're talking about the old Intellivision, because Pat was arguing with Tommy Tellerico, calling him a liar, saying that 3 million Intellivisions didn't sell. All it took was a basic Google search, and I brought up the result, and it says, yes, actually 3 million did sell. So I don't know, I'm not sure where Pat gets all of his information from. Maybe he just spouts it out of his mouth without even looking it up, but apparently he was arguing with Tommy over it. So I just looked it up while they were live streaming to see if it was true. And technically that's just from the article from the Intellivision website on Wikipedia. So obviously that could be a little bit biased. So I went through like different articles and I found one from IGN, and they said it was also the same case. And they also said that Intellivision is ranked like the number 14 best console to ever release. So this idea that Pat and Ian put forward that Intellivision's a garbage company and no one's ever liked it, it's total bullshit. And it's borderline libel, right? Especially when you're like ruining someone's reputation when they're starting a new business. And it was funny too, because I was like, is libel even a serious offense in the States? And then that's what I found out, is when I looked it up, I was like, holy shit. Libel is actually different for each state. So it's not like a federal law across the board. So depending which state you live in, you could face different penalties. And I think where Pat and Ian live is actually the strictest laws of all. So they could literally be facing like multiple years, well, I think 6 months in jail and millions of dollars in fines. It says, well, yeah, let's bring it up just so people can see I'm not just talking out of my ass like I'm accusing Pat of doing. No, I actually like Pat and Ian's show. They're one of my favorite shows, so I don't want to get people the wrong idea that I don't like Pat and Ian. I disagree with them all the time, but that's actually who I usually like the most. I don't really like hanging out with people that I agree with everything, because it's just not very entertaining, right? I need a little bit of action in my life. All right, so we'll check out slander and libel. Can you go to jail for libel in California, where Pat and Ian live? It says in some states, libel can sometimes be charged as a crime and be punishable by a fine and jail time. Oh, so Pat and Ian might actually even get a criminal record and be banned from ever traveling again. I don't know, that's how it works in Canada. If you get a criminal record, your human rights are basically out the window, which arguably is a good thing. So anyways, however, California, people have been defamed, are limited to their right to recover damages in a lawsuit. Oh, limited. Oh, so we might not see jail time for that, eh? I don't know. I could have swore I was reading it somewhere there was jail time, but maybe, yeah, I'm probably wrong about that. Well, let's scroll down, see what it says. Yeah, let's see. Can you get jail for libel fine in California? Let's just see if anything comes up. Yeah, see here, some websites say it differently. Some are saying that you can actually get 6 months in jail. So if anyone's in the US and they want to clarify if they're a lawyer or whatever, do you know if in California it's just the fines, or do you actually face jail as well? So that's one of the things I was thinking. Maybe that's the reason that Tommy moved the company to, what is it, Utah or something? Because I was thinking, dear God, that seemed like a really sidestep move. Like, why would they do it? Some people are saying it's to save money, but, oh, let's see here. Show me retro. I'm in the same way with Pat and Ian. They drive me nuts sometimes, but the show is entertaining nonetheless. Yeah, that's what I look at it too. Like, what kind of life is it if you just agree with everything? That'd be boring as hell. All right, so the one thing that I wanted to bring up right off the bat before we get too far into it, just to like clarify where my position is coming on here, let's bring it up. The Goon Squad, or Guggen Squad. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of this channel before, but it's a YouTube channel, and they specify in like doing reviews of fishing gear. So if they have like a new fishing rod coming out or a new lure, and they've got like almost 1 million subs. So I guess they got way more than Pat and Ian. I can't remember how many Pat and Ian got. Did they got 100,000 in, is it? Or maybe they're close to 1 million too. I haven't checked in a while. So anyways, what I was going to say as an example, what happens if this Goon Squad or Guggen Squad, they're doing a podcast, right? Like saying, should you buy this new fishing rod or this new lure? And what happens if all of a sudden a fishing rod or a lure company comes out and they're like, hey, this new fishing rod is like really weird, and it's like this new design, everyone's really critical of it. And then what happens if Guggen Squad comes out and does a review or like a preview of what they think about it? You know what they're probably going to say? They're going to be like, this fishing rod may not work very good for catching fish, or this lure may not work very good for catching fish. And why would they say that? Because if they told their viewers that the fishing rod or the lure was not going to catch any fish, then they could be grounds for libel, right? Because they're bad-mouthing a product, they're ruining a company's reputation before it's even released on the market. And what happens if that company invested tens of millions of dollars into releasing this product, and then this Guggen Squad allegedly or hypothetically would all of a sudden just make money off of it, right? So that's where I kind of wonder about Pat and Ian. The libel lawsuit could get even worse. Let's look at this. Oh, we don't even have it here. But we'll use Classic Gaming or OBE Pete's channel as an example. If you do a channel, what the lawsuit could break down, they would look, how many views did your channel get before you started making Amico content? So then any of these videos, let's say this was Pat and Ian's channel, if they made a whole bunch of Amico videos and you could see they got like 1 million views or whatever on each one, and that was shitloads of ad revenue for each one, that's where the libel lawsuit could come in. They'd be like, hey, look at Pat and Ian. They're like monetizing these videos, hypothetically. I don't even know if they monetize all theirs. I'm sure maybe they do, who knows. But like, yeah, they could be like, Pat and Ian, you guys are monetizing your videos, you're libeling another company, and you're directly profiting from this libel. Like, I don't know, like even the lawyers could probably be like, hey, Pat, let's see your revenue list from CU Podcast. Compare it to before you started doing Amico videos and after. And then look at that revenue difference. And they'd be like, holy shit, Pat and Ian, you guys made like, I don't know how much they made, like hypothetically $1,000, would say whatever. They'd be like, you guys are profiting off other people's disasters. So yeah, that's one of the things, like allegedly or hypothetically, that Pat and Ian could be in huge shit for. And I was thinking too, when Pat and Ian first started covering the Amico, they actually kept law abiding. They were very much like, oh, the console might not sell well, it doesn't look very good. Like, I totally agree that the Amico looks like a shit console. But same thing happens in the music industry. What happens if, like, say, like Drake, he comes out with like a new song and he does like a preview to a bunch of like review artists, and they listen to the song and they're like, oh my god, man, this Drake song sounds like shit. I bet you it's never gonna be popular. And they could tell other viewers that, but you'll never know until that Drake song actually reaches the market. Because sometimes even the shittiest sounding songs, they explode and are like the next biggest hit, right? So obviously 99.9999% chance was the Amico was just going to be a dumpster fire. But if Pat and Ian wanted to cover their ass, they should have said hypothetically or allegedly. Like, it still could have sold when it released. So that's where like Tommy would actually be in the right when he was saying like, hey, well, yeah, that's all I was going to say too. Let's go back to that other page. We'll come back to OBE Pete in a sec. So this crowdfunding campaign thing, when you scroll down to the bottom and you get down into the comments, There were some comments, I think it was No Swear Gamer was saying that some of the different Intellivision employees were saying that they had to shut it down because of haters. So they're already talking about like the terminology. They're blaming the haters like Pat and Ian for ruining their company. So yeah, you can read it here yourself and find the comments, but it's in there. So, or just watch No Swear Gamer. He's got a great channel. He reviews it. Oh yeah, and if anyone didn't notice, check out the total at the top here. That's what No Swear Gamer was talking about too. All the investors and all the money was either returned or it's gone or something else happened. I don't know. Oh, Pat and Ian are at 250K. Thanks for the comment. All right, so yeah, like Pat and Ian, they could even look at their channel and look how many subs did you have before you started mocking the Amico and after. Arguably, it wasn't all from that, but I was just thinking if I was in a court case and I had to be a lawyer fighting it or something, I would definitely bring that up. Oh yeah, here's the other thing. Now, does Tommy have a history of suing people? Let's check that out. Just hypothetically, what's the danger Pat and Ian are really facing? So here we go. Tommy Tellerico, he's actually well known for trying to sue people. He almost sued Roblox, allegedly. But at least he was able to settle it out of court. And they don't know for how much. And some people are debating that Tommy actually made like millions and millions of dollars off his settlement with Roblox. I have no idea if that's true. If Tommy's in the chat, he could probably put it in there, but I think he's busy looking after his dad right now, praying for him and his family. I know like sometimes I've gotten mad at Tommy and other times I like him. I'm not going to hate on people forever. I think I'm one of those people that I know that I make a lot of mistakes and I'm not going to try to hold Tommy to be perfect. I know a lot of things, yeah, there was a lot of shit that hit the fan. Oh yeah, and that Roblox song, in case it, or the oof sound, if anyone wants to put in the comments that it wasn't Tommy that made it, I actually tried to get a hold of the guy that apparently made it, that was working for Tommy, just so we could get all the details about who actually recorded the oof sound. Was Tommy even in the office that day, or did he just like own the company or worked at the company? Who knows? I'm not an expert on the oof sound, so if anyone else is, they can put in the chat. But I just wanted to use that as an example that Tommy is well known for suing people. So when Pat and Ian are like, oh shit, are we actually facing a lawsuit from Tommy? I would guess yes. Just guessing, right? Especially like how bad is Amico going to get into trouble, right? Like I could see it. If Amico starts getting like Intellivision employees, if they get sued large for everything that went down, it's probably going to be a two-way lawsuit, right? Like Intellivision will be getting sued, and then all the people that bashed Intellivision will be getting sued. I can imagine it's going to be one hell of a court battle. Or it might not even go to court. I'm just saying allegedly. If I had to guess, though, I think it would. All right, so, oh yeah, and as far as Tommy's family goes, they actually have a big history of suing people as well. Because if anyone knows Tommy's family, not only are they like big-time movie stars and rock stars and stuff, but they've also gone into like high-profile court cases. I think it was that one guy, what is it, his cousin from the band, the music band, what is it, Aerosmith or something? He actually, well, allegedly, I think I read it on Wikipedia, someone could correct me if I'm wrong, he actually started a lawsuit where he sued people, or he started a law in, what is it, I think it was Hawaii or something, where he passed a law or caused some sort of lawsuit where now you're not allowed to take pictures of celebrities on vacation. So this idea of him, well, I don't want to blame Tommy for other stuff his family has done, but it does seem like there's a bit of a trend going from the Tellerico family of a lot of lawsuits occurring. Now, personally, me, I'm not really a big fan of lawsuits. I'm more of like the Amish way, where I figure you just got to settle things out of court the best you can. So yeah, that's how I am in life, but I know not everyone's that way, so yeah, if I had to guess, like, I don't know if anyone heard how much money Intellivision Amico raised. I think it's like $20 million. And then they were claiming like that they could sell like crap loads of consoles. So they could hypothetically put together an argument where they might have even had $100 million in losses. Who knows, maybe even $500 million. You know, how much they can convince the court that they were actually going to sell if they didn't get libeled by Pat and Ian. Now, arguably, Pat and Ian, you could say that they didn't really destroy the Amico, but when you look at how many viewers they have and their influence in the gaming community, now arguably, Tommy said the gaming community wasn't really his target market, So he might have bit his own foot there. But if he did say that the video game community was his target market, then he could claim the damages because they libeled him, allegedly. All right. So let's just get a definition of that other stuff so we can clear it up. Yeah, so the Federal Trade Commission, or FCC. I don't know why they don't call it FTC, eh? Federal Trade Commission? Why is it FCC? I always get that mixed up. But anyways, so yeah, so they're designed or whatever to help investors and sue people, I guess, or fine companies that fuck up. So yeah, that's the Federal Trade Commission. And I don't think, the viewers are right that said that, hey, if it was just crowdfunding, then Amico would be fine in the clear. But as soon as they got involved with scams and they're being investigated by the Trade Commission, that's serious, right? All right, so let's bring up the next one, defamation. All right, so defamation is the oral or written communication of false statement that just unjustly harms reputations. Yeah, so that's the one where it's just oral or written. So let's check out the other one that Pat and Ian will probably be facing, allegedly. So this one, libel, is a malicious false statement written in the media, broadcast, or otherwise published. So this is where libel and Pat and Ian would be in real heat, right? I don't know, if I was Pat and Ian, I'd almost tomorrow come out with the video and apologize to Intellivision and Amico. Well, that might make them look even more guilty, but I don't know what they could do at this point. Fuck. So yeah, it's serious. If you're fucking around with libel laws, in some states it's not that bad, but in California, you're facing the damages of the entire company. So I don't know how much Intellivision lost and how much they could have made, but oh boy. I know Pat's been on his show bragging a lot of times that he's rich and he doesn't even need Patreon, which I thought was kind of ironic because he's always plugging his Patreon. It's how can you do that? You'd be like, one day I'm like, oh, I'm so rich, I don't even need donations. Here's my Patreon, donate. But yeah, who knows? He could even lose his gold card. If he gets fined, say $200 million, he's probably going to be having to sell everything he owns, right? It's fucking serious shit. So let's see, what else do we got? California. Yeah, let's bring up the California. I think we looked at this one already, right? Fault needed. Is a public offender under defamation, television, church, real estate? What about my right to free speech? So there's no constitutional value in the false statements of fact. I don't know. I guess you'd have to be a lawyer to understand all this stuff, but... All right, so the plaintiff is successful in his defamation. They may that party may recover damages, and the general damages are for the plaintiff's loss of reputation. Holy fuck, man. Tommy had one of the best reputations in the gaming community, and his arguments with Pat and Ian just threw him down the toilet, right? He must be one of the most hated people on the fucking gaming community these days. And we can't blame it all on Pat and Ian, but the only reason I'm using Pat and Ian as the biggest example here, obviously there's other channels that have made fun of the Amico, but they don't have the influence they do, right? Say Darius. If Tommy wanted to sue Darius, how is he going to get away with it? Because Darius only has 1,000 subs like my channel, or maybe 2,000, something like that. But he's not up to 100,000 subs and having everyone in the gaming community watching his show. So that's why I think smaller YouTube channels might be safe from Tommy's lawsuits, allegedly, because yeah, they're just too small. No judge would ever believe it. But when they show Pat and Ian as an example, they'd be like, holy shit, these are really the biggest influencers in the entire gaming community. So if they were the ones general damages for plaintiff's loss of shame, mortification, and even hurt feelings. Can you imagine? Do you think Tommy has any hurt feelings about what Pat and Ian said about them? To be fair, I think Pat and Ian are majority right, 99% right. I just think they worded it wrong. When they were saying that Intellivision wasn't going to sell, they should have said allegedly, right? Because yeah, there's still that 1 or 0.1, whatever the chance was, but there's still a chance. Even 1 in a million is still a chance, right? Yeah, so when they're saying it will never sell, that is like libel, right? All right, let's check out number 2. Special damages. And let's make this a little bit bigger so everyone can read it. That's what she said. All right, I'll get my mind out of the gutter. Special damages, which are the plaintiff's property, trade, profession, or occupation. Yeah, so that's another huge one. It almost seems like just reading this over, it's like, yeah, this is the Amico lawsuit to a T. Punitive damages, which are the damages awarded in the discretion of the superior court or the jury, to be revoked or recovered in addition to general or special damages, and to be awarded for the sake of example and by way of punishing a defendant. So I don't know. Number 1 and 2 made a lot of sense to me. I don't really understand number 3. If anyone wants to put it in the chat. How long does the plaintiff have to file a defamation case? In California, a lawsuit for defamation must be completed in 1 year. So I don't know, 1 year from when the Amico goes bankrupt or when it started. I don't know. If anyone's a lawyer and they could want to specify if they know when that 1 year point starts. Oh, here we are. The 1 year period, statute of limitations, starts running when the plaintiff knows or is in the exercise of reasonable diligence should have known about the defendant's wrongful actions. Oh, so Tommy might actually already be past the time frame. Unless he's going to sue them for just what happened on the, what was it called, that last crowdfunding thing where everyone went down to 0. So, yeah, so I guess if Tommy really wanted to take it to the extreme, he could say it's been within 1 year of that last crowdfunding campaign, and then that last crowdfunding campaign was what was going to save the company. So then he could attach the entire company failure to that one crowdfunding campaign. You know, that's what I was thinking. Maybe that was why they did the crowdfunding. Holy shit. I never even thought of that. So maybe Tommy was looking at that thing and saying, oh, fuck, it has to be within a year if I'm going to recover the damages from Pat and Ian. So he was like, why don't we start another crowdfunding campaign, let the haters just destroy it, and then after it happens, use that as an example in court. So a lot of people make fun of Tommy and think he's an idiot, but I've actually met Tommy in person like a bunch of times at different video games live shows, which I volunteered for at different video game conventions in Canada, which I met him at. And Tommy strikes me as like one of the smartest people I've ever met, like IQ wise. So I really doubt that like Tommy's an idiot, right? So I don't know, is Tommy playing like 3D or 4D chess? And he's got all these plans and that's why he actually started this crowdfunding? I would probably guess not, but I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility. All right, so as far as the lawsuits go, I think we covered a lot about the Pat and Ian stuff. Let's get more into the Intellivision crew and see what kind of lawsuits they could be facing. Not to laugh, I usually just laugh to relieve stress. Not that I actually, like Tommy, I still look up to him as one of my biggest heroes from when I was a kid. So I'm going to try to do this as unbiased as I can, but no, a lot of people have pointed out that they raised all this money and they arguably did not even try to release the console. That each time that they've been doing it, it's just been a scam because they weren't actually working on anything. And that they were lying about actually releasing it or shipping it. And I don't know how true that is. I don't think we'll ever find out the actual details unless it goes to court. But if you check, like a lot of other YouTubers started to notice, where are the Intellivision employees? Now that the company's going bankrupt and they should be working their asses off to save it. So let's check out where Hans is. Not to make fun of Hans, I'm sure he's a nice guy, and he's got his Instagram profile not private, public, so it should be okay to check this. So where is he working on Intellivision? No, it looks like he's actually on vacation. The Red Sea, February 26th. What's today's date? March? So I don't know, maybe this is from last year. No, it says right here, 1 week. What does he say? We can leave the world behind, like leaving everyone behind that invested in Amico. You never know what you can find. Together we can take the time and make it right. That's what I would actually like to see if everything was made right in the end in this situation. We can leave the world behind. Whatever you got on your mind, together we can take the time and make it right. So I don't know, that's a little bit weird. That quote that he put, or no, that's someone, no, that is Hans. Now, Hans has always struck me as a nice guy. I know a lot of people make fun of him, but I don't know. I haven't really seen anything to make fun of him about yet, other than going on vacation when the company needs him most. But who knows? Maybe he doesn't have any work to do in Germany, or wherever his European office is. So he, rightfully so, could just go on vacation because there's really nothing for him to do anyways. But what I did too is I did some more digging into Hans's social media, and let's bring up some of the stuff we got from that. I guess I can close that phishing one. Try not to bring any pictures of boobs on the screen. If I do that, sorry. I don't know how they got there. So I found this poster on a bunch of Intellivision employees' social media. Everyone from Intellivision was trying to hire someone that could actually build stuff. They're saying, hey, we need someone that can actually do firmware, or an actual engineer who can finish a project. And they needed them so badly that they were willing to give a reward just for finding them. So yeah, I found this poster on Hans's websites. I found it on, that Guido guy, can't remember his name. And I don't know, it was probably on Tommy's website too. I think Tommy's actually gone into hiding where he's closed a lot of his social media, so, or maybe it's just Twitter he's closed, I don't know. But I'm sure with his dad being in rough shape and everything, that could be a part of it. But anyways, let's bring up Hans and see some of the comments. Oh, here it is. So this is some of the people on his public page and how the responses were for that ad. And there was only 4 responses. A couple of them got a like. And it didn't look like anyone actually took the job. There wasn't any post from Hans saying, oh, the job is filled. We no longer need this employee, right? Do you see that on this list anywhere? This is the whole list of the chat. So I was like, as far as we know, when we're looking at the evidence just from social media pages, they didn't find anyone to do the firmware job. And if someone could correct me if I'm wrong, if they know someone actually did get hired, it'd be great to know, because they would be the one to blame for not finishing the console, right? Who's to blame? Alright, so that's that one. Now, a big shout out to Darius. I was actually on his show a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week ago. Yeah, it was fun. I know he's a bit of a bully, but I don't know. I kind of like hanging out with bullies because I got bullied a lot when I was growing up. So for some reason, I just like the intensity of it. Or yeah, let's check out Guido. He had the wanted sign on his as well. And I don't recall anyone taking it up on his page either. Although I should have got all the chat from his. Guido's chat might have been a lot longer. I forget. I think I did an episode about Guido in the past. So if anyone wants to check out my Amico playlist, whole bunch of videos. Some of them are about Guido. And same thing with Guido. I know he's a far left extremist, allegedly. And he's always talking about how much he hates Russia and Trump. But yeah, teach their own. I think everyone goes through phases of different things politically in life. So I don't blame anyone if they have one view at some point in their life. It's yeah, teach their own. Right, so yeah, Guido put that he's experienced, or they're looking for the people, and they're willing to pay thousands of dollars just to find someone who can actually finish the project. I know, I think Pat and Ian brought that up on their show a long time ago, but I don't think they ever followed it up, did they? Did they find out if Intellivision ever hired someone? Alright, so let's bring up the slide of all the Intellivision employees that I think are really facing the biggest lawsuits here. Hey, Naked HD, how's it going? Just make sure you keep your clothes on, ladies. Hey, Kyle, how's it going? Alright, so let's see. I can hardly wait till I can stream on a new channel or a new platform. Be ladies, take all the clothes off you want. Please do. Alright, Phil Adam. So I think this is the one where it's just a thing of Phil Adam. Oh yeah, he's the current president of Amico, I think. So if I had to guess, he's probably one of the people that are probably facing lawsuits from all the scandals from the investment. Who knows, maybe they'll be able to back everything up and there was no shady dealings. I know people like to bash Phil and say that because he worked on the Coleco Chameleon, that makes him guilty by association. Whatever you've done in the past means that you must be guilty now. Like, I don't know. I'm one of those people, I believe in rehabilitation and try not to hold things against people for like the rest of their lives, like cancel culture or whatever. So I don't hold it against the guy. If he can turn things around, all the power to him. And people say that he's doing it maliciously. I think, I could be wrong, but just by guessing, Phil seems like one of those guys who's like good at heart. So I don't know if he really would do it maliciously. I've never met Phil, so I don't know. I've never talked to him or anything, so I can't really say for sure. Allegedly, that's all I can say for sure. Now that's the one thing too, people always make fun of the Coleco Chameleon, how it failed and it was such a failure and no one wants it. I was thinking that's not really how it planned out. People still want a new Coleco. They're just disappointed that the project failed. And did the project fail because it was a scam? I think at one point there was shady operations for sure. The way the guts in the console were from like other products and they were like panning it out to be something better than it actually was, allegedly. But I was thinking, who knows? Maybe these guys really did just say, hey, let's try to make it seem as great as possible so we can actually get it out. Like sometimes, like, you know, have you ever dated a woman that's like way out of your league and you sort of like pump yourself up? You're like, oh, look at my big muscles, or like, oh, I'm like going to be rich in a few years or whatever. I mean, or you say you got like a really great job and meanwhile you're like a janitor or something, right? So you can't hold it against people for like, it's human nature to try to like pump yourself up a little bit more. But then there comes the investment scandal stuff. If it was just crowdfunding, I think you could get away with that. But maybe there's some laws with the actual like investment laws. You're not allowed to like pump up a company and make it sound better than it actually is. Who knows? All right, so the reason to invest. All right, so did we cover all the slides I wanted to check? Oh yeah, there were still a few more employees. Now, the one that I was very suspicious from the very beginning, like if anyone wants to go to my early Amico video archive, like this is like almost the first week that Amico came out or was announced. I was already skeptical when I seen David Perry. And to be fair to David Perry, when you read that crowdfunding thing, it says that he barely worked on the project. The only reason, like a couple hours a week or not even, I can't remember what it said. Anyone can put it in the chat. But anyways, David Perry, it says he's the director, right? So that's one of the weirdest things. How can you have a company's director and he barely works there, right? And I don't know, not to hold it against him because like he's a really good businessman and you can't hold it against someone making money to support themselves and their family and shit, but David Perry, man, he's had a lot of fucking shady, well, I shouldn't say shady, but more allegedly things that aren't really favorable in the gaming community. Like he's one of the guys that was like the founder of cloud gaming and like sold the technology to I think Sony or someone. So anyone can put that in the chat. I know some people really hate cloud gaming, so I'm one of those people where I can't stand cloud gaming because I'd rather just own a cartridge and not have to download anything and not get any monthly fees. Because that's the main thing that comes with cloud gaming is there's always monthly fees associated with it, right? Someone could correct me if I'm wrong. Is it possible to do any cloud gaming for free? Or is it always like a monthly fee? So yeah, it kind of reminds me of like, what is it? Elon Musk. How he made all that money off like a PayPal thing. So some people could say, oh, he's scamming people because he made money off, selling things through PayPal or whatever. But really, he is providing a service, and David Perry did provide a service when it came to cloud gaming. Some people love it, so we can't really hold David Perry like, I know I gotta apologize, I was kind of harsh on him in the past, because yeah, like, when I first thought of Amico being a cloud gaming system, I was like, holy fuck, man, this is a nightmare, right? Now, just to clarify, some people have said that Amico was never going to be a cloud gaming console. Ching. What do we got here? Oh, I'll have to go to the other screen so we can see it. So what do we got here? This is Dynablaster. This is a game for the Intellivision Amico. And this is a display case, so I can put it on my gaming shelf behind me. I just brought it over here so we could see it. I won't show you the back because it's got like an Amico code on it. I doubt it'll ever be good for anything, but no. And on the back of the card, let's put it here. It says like where is it, RFID and stuff, and then people are talking about how these games were actually going to be NFT associated as well. So I looked up NFT technology, and it says right on the fucking page, NFT technology is a type of cloud technology. So anyone that's arguing with me about, oh, Amico, it wasn't going to be cloud, look at this. It's like, it's literally impossible for it not to be cloud. As far as I know, allegedly. Now, I do got the other Amico stuff here. The Bomberman game was the one that was actually convincing me that I really wanted to get the Amico. I actually bought the games just because I was like, hey, let's buy the games, see if they're any good. Like, actually looking at the product, see what the quality is like. I know some people wanted to invest in Intellivision, and I guess the games were kind of like my investment, because I'm like, holy, maybe I'll actually be able to rake in some money if these games fail, and then they're all of a sudden super rare. And then all of a sudden, any of those like old neckbeard guys like me, they want to buy it, they'll be like, holy shit, there's hardly any left. The price might go up. And especially too, they were saying that Intellivision never sold them all. So the actual amount in the wild is going to be even lower. Unless Intellivision like puts them all in auction or something. But so yeah, I just got some more Intellivision gear. Just to clarify, I'm one of those old neckbeard guys that loves Intellivision from back in the day. Everyone likes to make fun of. So just to clarify, that is me. You're making fun of me. Are you making fun of me? Now, I don't mind when people bully and make fun of stuff because, yeah, I've had a lot of experience with it growing up. And I've come to take it with a little bit of a thick skin over the years. So it doesn't bother me as much. I kind of look at bullies as, in a lot of cases, bullies like Darius, they're actually bringing up points that you could improve on. That is like the whole bullying philosophy. As shitty as bullies are, they do offer you a chance to improve yourself. Like when Darius is making fun of like me living in a basement, rightfully so, I should be trying to get out of the basement. It's like, you know, when a bird is in a nest, sometimes the mother is like a real bitch, right? She's like, get out of the fucking nest, pushes you out. Just like Darius, he's like, hey, get the fuck out of your mom's basement, right? So yeah, as much as like, I think it sucks when you get bullied, sometimes it actually helps you. I know, not to defend bullies, I'm like defending everyone today. All right, let's go back to the main screen. We still got viewers. Thanks for joining in. All right, so David Perry. So he's one of the guys that, if it ever came down to the investors wanting to get some money back, David Perry, I don't know if I'm right or wrong in this, unless he's like a gambling addict, but I'm pretty sure he's probably like super wealthy. So if anyone wanted to do a lawsuit, they might target David Perry, like allegedly. And if anyone's wondering, well, maybe David Perry, he was only there for a couple hours, like he's not really that involved in the company. Could they really sue him? Let's check it out. I know in Canada, this is a big one in Canada. Let's bring it up. What the fuck's going on, man? Now I got another site here. Let's see if I can find it. What I did is I brought up, why is this all, there we go. So this is one that's big in Canada, the accomplice. So in Canada, if you go to a prison, like if you go to a women's prison, that actually has a lot of guys in it now. I'll get to that later. But anyways, if you go to a women's prison, like 99% of the women, could be less, is they didn't commit any actual crimes. But you know why they're in jail? Because they were accomplice. Either they're like married to someone who committed a crime, or they were just like, I don't know, like the getaway vehicle. They drove someone who committed a crime. So that's where I was thinking, like literally almost every single employee at Intellivision is probably at risk, right? Because they'd all be considered accomplices. Especially if it comes down to like criminal charges through this FCC thing. I don't know what's going to happen, or the libel lawsuits. I think actually the Amico crew in Intellivision, they're the ones that are the most safe when it comes for the libel lawsuits, because they were actually very professional, well, maybe other than Tommy, about how they were responding to people, so that they didn't like just bash people and libel them. But I don't know, a lot of the comments, like even when I was arguing with Tommy, I don't think he ever actually got into libel. If anyone wants to put it in the chat, did he actually go that far? I think he says offensive stuff, but I don't think he actually got to the point of being illegal. Unless people say, oh, but he promised to release the console and it never came out. What happens if he was talking to say, he talked to John Alvarado. And he's like, hey, John, how close is the Amico? And then John's getting like $100,000 paycheck every year. And he's like, you know what, Tommy? It's coming out any day, any day, any day. So then Tommy takes that information from John, hypothetically, if he said that. And he's like, you know what? The Amico's coming out any day, any day. And is Tommy really the one responsible for that? Or, I don't know. We'd have to find out in a court case, right? Now, I think this other guy, I don't know, someone was involved in some sort of prairie dog shooting. I think, what was it, Pat and Ian were making fun of it. They're like, how dare someone kill animals? We're completely innocent of killing animals. And I'm like, really? You guys talk about eating animals like almost 90% of your show. So you're constantly supporting the killing of animals so that you can eat meat, right? Like, what is Ian going on about how much he likes? He likes to eat, what is it, seafood. What about all those people that love sea creatures and they're upset because they killed the animals, right? So I don't know, like, I guess even Tommy, that's the weird thing. Tommy's like so pro animal rights when it comes to PETA and all that. So it is kind of weird that he's working with a guy that allegedly was killing animals for fun. But I just like to say, yeah, it was pretty distasteful to like hunt for fun. Like, I don't know, for me, I'm one of those people that when I go fishing, I'll only go fishing if I'm actually trying to catch a fish to eat it. Not because I'm just going to kill the fish and throw it in the garbage or something, right? Oh, so Harry Pater, thanks again for tuning in. Pavel Pevrov. Looks like we got a spam, but I appreciate it. We can use as many comments as we can get. No, I'll just try to keep it clean though. Ladies, keep your clothes on. Alright, so did we cover all the Intellivision employees that could be facing lawsuits? I would say almost every employee at the company could be facing jail time or this like giant penalty, depending how the libel lawsuits work and whatever, or not libel, the investment ones work, depending on which state they're in. Because I don't know, maybe that Federal Trade Commission, that sounds like a federal law, right? So it would be across the entire states. So it wouldn't really matter which state they moved it to. I could be wrong about that if anyone wants to put in the chat. So no, if anyone's wondering, am I cheering for the Intellivision people to go to jail? No. I don't like lawsuits at all. Even people that have wronged me in the past, I don't believe in suing them either. So I definitely don't want Pat or Ian or anyone from Intellivision to get in trouble legally. I just thought I'd make a video about it because that's one of the things I was thinking, dear God, we could actually see this happen. And I'm surprised that more channels aren't talking about the legal aspects. Like, I even heard a few people go, oh, it's just crowdfunding. Be like, no, no, no. The FCC is already being involved. So we know it's not, like, immune from all these legal issues. It's, like, right in the target of it. All right, so what else do we got to cover? I think I'm going to try to keep this episode under an hour. So if anyone's got any Intellivision comments or questions they want to add to the chat, we can take callers if anyone wants to join in on the Discord page. Just try to keep it clean. What do we got? I think I covered just about everything that I wanted to for the lawsuit aspect. Let's look up the website stuff again. Did I forget anything? We got the oof sound. Oh yeah, it was OBE Pete. So I had it on the screen before. OBE Pete, or used to be called OBE Pete, he changed his name to Classic Gaming Fun or whatever and distanced himself from the Amico. And everyone's like, oh, like Darius. He's like, why did you distance yourself from the Amico? Why? Well, I don't know. Darius, he kind of makes fun of like OBE Pete, saying that he doesn't seem like all there or like a weird guy. But when I watch OBE Pete and I've like talked to him in the chat, he strikes me as another one of those people with like super high IQ. Even if he did have a head injury, some people are making fun of him for that. I've had a head injury, so maybe they're confusing me with him. I don't know. But anyway, so I was thinking Pete is such a smart guy that he probably seen like what was happening in Intellivision and how it was like going down the route of maybe an investment scam. And he's like, holy shit, if there's like a lawsuit coming involved in this, I'm the fuck out of here, right? So if anyone's wondering why OBE Pete stopped doing it and they know the reason, they could put it in the chat. But that's just my guess of why I think Pete stopped doing his like Amico stuff and promoting it. He's like, holy shit, this allegedly he thought this, is that it might be going down the road of a lawsuit. And then the OBA Pete's like, I don't know, my channel's up to like 8,000 subs. Holy shit, congrats, Pete. Wow, man, his channel is doing really good. Yeah, he's like kicking my channel's ass. I think I'm only at 1,000 subs barely. But yeah, if anyone wants to help me reach 2,000 subs, really appreciate it. Maybe we can catch up to Pete one day. So yeah, I think Pete, he was smart. He's like, fuck this shit, man. I'm not going down, sinking with the Titanic and this Amico crap. As much as you probably wanted to stay with it, he's like, fuck it, it's just not worth the risk at this point, right? Like, his channel's doing good already now, and he's got probably everything that he needs from like the whole fortune and fame of promoting the Amico. I was tempted to go down the road of promoting the Amico, but I tried to keep it as biased as I could. Or unbiased. Freudian slip. No, and OBA Pete, he does got an Intellivision video here. And he did a review about Intellivision Lives on DS. God, did I ever fucking love that game. I like watched his video. I'm like, hey, let's get this game. So I ordered it off eBay. Or I forget where I ordered it from. But anyways, I got it on my Nintendo DS. And I was playing it. Do I got my DS here? Fuck. Where did I put it? So let me just grab it quick. Well, how much time do we got? Oh, we're at 5 minutes. We don't got time. Well, anyways, I tried the games. And they actually used the overlay. And how did they get the overlay to work? They put it on the screen, on the second screen on the DS. So as much as people are making fun of the Amico, I think that screen idea, getting it to do the overlays, you never know. It might have had a chance. I didn't mind it on the DS like that. So if anyone's wondering what I'm talking about, check out OBA Pete's video on in Intellivision. It's a good video. Or the Intellivision Lives on Nintendo DS. He did a review of it, so make sure to check it out if you got time. Right, so I think we covered the OBA Pete stuff. We covered the Intellivision crew, possibly going to jail. Let's hope not, allegedly. The accomplice thing. So I don't know how far this is going to go down. Is like every employee that's ever been at Intellivision going to be facing jail? I don't know. Because man, when you look at like we're talking like, I don't know if anyone knows the amount, put it in the chat. Is it like a $20 million investment scam at this point? I can't remember. I think Pat and Ian were saying the totals, but I totally forget now. No, my memory sucks and I was doing some fasting this week. So yeah, definitely. Don't take my word on any of this. If anyone else wants to look it up themselves, find out, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I know I correct Pat and Ian all the time in their chat, and they just ignore it. But I'm not that kind of person. If you get me and I'm wrong, I'll at least try to admit it. I know a lot of cases it's hard to admit it. I'm not like a perfect person who can do everything the way you should, but I don't think anyone is. Yeah, so just to clarify, when Pat and Ian were doing their live stream today and they're making fun of Tommy for saying that it sold more than 3 million units, it's basically confirmed by IGN and the Wikipedia. So I don't know where they're getting this idea that Tommy was making that up, but yeah, and Pat was like so fired up about it. That's where I think Pat got too emotional, right? Like when he started covering the Amico, I don't think he would have gotten to these like huge arguments, but it's gotten really personal over the like the past 2 or 3 years. Fuck, however long this has been going, 4 years? I don't even know. Seems like a long time. What was it, 2018 was it? So yeah, that's like, we're like 4 years, even more. All right, so what was I looking at? Oh yeah, this was, what is it, Hans's former company. So he did have some background in video game stuff, and I wanted to go through the other employees and see if any of them were actually capable of finishing the Amico. Like, I don't know, John Alvarado, he's another one of those guys that strikes me as really nice. I was very critical of him in the past. I think I am a little bit still critical of him, because I'm like, who the fuck didn't finish the Intellivision? Like, who else's job was it? I think maybe it wasn't John's job because they were trying to hire some new person, but maybe everything was falling on his plate because he was the only one that was even close to qualified enough to get this console launched. And they kept going on about 600 years experience, but really you could get like a fucking 100 different employees from a hospital and they got thousands of years experience. And if you need heart surgery and all of those employees, not a single one was a heart surgeon, what would it matter if you had thousands of years experience? If not one of those years is actually finishing the fucking heart procedure, you're fucked. Not in a good way. Alright, so let's go to my sponsor message and we'll start wrapping up the show. But if anyone's still got questions, I got the chat open. Alright, so let's go to the sponsor.
Today's Amico lawsuit news, allegedly, was brought to you by Crack. Crack, it'll fuck you up.
Now, a big shout out to my patrons as well. Suki, Dan, Jim, Ray, and Travis. And don't worry, if you donate once, I'll keep you on the list anyways. I think everyone's already canceled the Patreon. Maybe one person's still on it, but appreciate it if anyone could help out with that. I don't really got any benefits for it that are that good, other than I give you a shout out. And if you're in the chat and you want to shout out your own stuff, just let me know and I'll promote it. Because I really appreciate the patrons. It's the least I can do. Alright, so let's see. Let's go to the affiliate links. Alright, if you want to help out, you can also do it with Society 6. I got merch. Finishing quick is my specialty. Comes on t-shirts, bed sheets, both popular with the ladies. Hado TV. It'll pay you to watch videos. Swagbucks will pay you to shop. GameKit will pay you to try games. And free Bitcoin. It's the wallet system for crypto. If you haven't tried crypto yet and you don't have any money to do it and you want tiny little bits of it for free, you can sign up, free Bitcoin, and all of a sudden they start giving you those little loot boxes. You can pile up all the crypto, start adding it up and up. Next thing you know, you might actually have a penny. No, just kidding. But no, if you do the referrals, it could go up faster. That's what she said. All right, the virtual made sex machine, it's for adults and men only. But if ladies need a sex machine, they know who to call. Just kidding. Anyways, $10 off for purchase 150 or more. Just use the coupon code LYNBS. That's LYNBSN. And not to joke, it is a real coupon code, real offer. I do get a kickback from Virtual Mate, so just to disclose that. And yeah, hopefully I can work with them again in the future. Oh yeah, and some people really hate the Virtual Mate, just to disclose that. Other people really love it, way too much. I'm looking in the mirror when I say that. Alright, so anyways, let's go to, yeah, we did the judge. Oh yeah, my website's there. Let's go back to the actual show content. Yeah, so, hey Leland. Bummer, I missed the stream. Ludo, it's all good, man. If you got more questions, I'm actually in no hurry. We can actually go over the hour mark, but what I'll do, if you want to get some more questions ready, let's just run my Vaporizer commercial. And this is one thing that I can actually relate to Tommy when it comes to like having a rough time releasing a company. I failed the first time releasing my company. It fucking bombed. But I'm actually trying again. So who knows, maybe Tommy will get the Amico going again in the future. I know I've said it and a lot of other people are saying the Amico's doomed, but who knows, maybe it's only doomed for this year. A couple years will go down and then they'll actually, well, I was thinking, wouldn't it be funny if Soldier Boy says, hey, you know what? I don't like Pat and Ian. I'm going to buy the Amico. I'm going to pump a whole bunch of the money from my rap career into the console, release it, sell it to all my fans, and have it fucking sell like hotcakes. Because yeah, Soldier Boy could do that, man. Like, everyone makes fun of Soldier Boy, I guess because they hate his music or they don't like rap or something, but I've got no hate towards Soldier Boy. I know, like, what is it, Pat and Ian, they're making fun of it. They're like, oh, Soldier Boy, he put ROMs on a console that's all old and outdated. I'm like, guess what Brazil does? They have a company called Tech Toy. If anyone wants to go into my archive, check it out. Tech Toy, they release consoles. What do? They put fucking ROMs on it, right? So it's actually not illegal to put ROMs on consoles in other countries. So I don't know, I guess Soldier Boy's in the US and that's probably why he got the most trouble. But he could have just opened an office in another country and be like, you know what, I'm going to sell my Soldier Boy console from a country where it is legal to put ROMs. So I don't know, it's like Pat and Ian don't even look up shit when they say it. But I'm guilty of that a lot too. So if anyone found shit that I fucked up in the show, yeah, just put it in the chat and I'll try to acknowledge it. Correct what I got wrong. So yeah, it's kind of sad to see that this whole fundraiser scam, or not scam, thing actually failed, arguably a scam. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe someone like Soldier Boy is going to buy the console. People make fun of it because Amico, yeah, it looks like a piece of shit. I'd say it's like one of the worst ideas I've ever heard, but you never know. It's like, it's the same thing when Soldier Boy comes out with the song, right? Soldier Boy's song, everyone could hear it, or like maybe Soulja Boy writes a song, he shares it with 10 people, and those 10 people are like, oh god, this is the fucking worst song ever, no one's gonna like it. And then what does Soulja Boy do? Puts the song up onto Spotify, gets like 10 million downloads, everyone loves it. Or at least a lot do. So you just never know, right? Could be like the worst pile of steaming shit you've ever seen. We live in a fucked up world where people buy shit, right? Like people are buying fucking dirty underwear off fucking eBay, I bet. You never know what you buy these days, right? So Pat and Ian, they really should have covered their asses and said Amico will allegedly not sell. As soon as they started telling people that it's not going to sell, whew, that's really grounds for libel. But let's hope Tommy doesn't go that route. Let's hope everything's okay. Oh, he was just, yeah, Ludo was just in the chat saying that he was watching the Amico Forever stream, and these guys are real diehards. DJC's show. Yeah, I think I've seen that one before. And to be fair, I'm one of those people too, to the point where I like Tommy and I'm a diehard Tommy supporter, but I just can't fucking stand the Amico. So I don't know, like, the only time that Amico almost changed my mind is when I started to hold the games. Like when I bought the game and I'm like holding it in my hand, I'm like, holy fuck, man, I love the coin, I love the card, and I love the collector's card. So I was like, as much as people are making fun of Tommy for releasing this cheap product, I fucking love it. I don't know, it's like one of those things, maybe some people love it, others don't, but... And then when I was looking at the Dino Blaster game, I'm a big Bomberman fan, but I really don't play Bomberman anymore. So I was thinking maybe I actually would like it, I don't know. We haven't tried it yet. But it was one of those things where it wasn't until I actually held the games in my hand, well, arguably physical games, that I was willing to give it a chance. And I confirmed with Darius that it is a very cheap box. Some of them don't even close properly. But yeah, who knows? It could be a hot collector's item. Well, that was one thing. If anyone's seen me talking with Darius in the chat before, I actually convinced Darius to admit that these games could be worth a lot. And I was explaining to him why, because it might be so bad that it's good, right? Like, fuck, man, games that came out for a console that will never release, is that not, like, super rare video game memorabilia? Like, you couldn't get any more rare than this, right? Especially if the console never launches. Oh, yeah, and that was the one thing. People are making fun of these games, saying that if Amico bombs, we'll never be able to play them. I was thinking Tommy and the other people in Amico, they could find a way to do it, because they talked about how just releasing the games on a mobile platform and dropping the Amico idea. So they could say, anyone who bought these games, you're entitled to the download for the cell phone version, mobile. So that's what I was thinking. It's not all doom and gloom. Although, if I had to agree with the viewers that hate the Amico, I do agree, 99.9999% chance that this thing was going to bomb. But allegedly, it could still do well, right? Who knows, in the future, Soulja Boy could invest in it. Pat and Ian, that's the one thing that always, fuck man, it bothers me so much. They go on and on about how Amico, oh, it's cheap hardware, it's got shovelware games, it's outdated. Have you ever seen what Switch is? Like Pat and Ian are going, oh, Switch, it's so great, it's so great. It's a fucking 720 console in the era of 4K. What do they put on the Switch? Shitloads of shovelware, all garbage games. Like, I don't like any of the Switch games. Like, I was wanting to buy the Switch. What fucking game is there to play? Am I going to play Zelda? I can play it on my Wii U, and it's a fucking better version. And I don't play, like, portable gaming. So why the fuck am I going to buy a console that has a screen on it to carry around when I'm playing it on my fucking TV? People are like, oh, you could just dock it. Well, I'm like, well, why the fuck would I need a screen on it then? I'm just hooking it up to my TV. So yeah, that's the one thing that I don't like about the Switch. And Pat and Ian are always making fun of the Amico. I'm like, hello, Amico, Switch. They're both basically shovelware, garbage, outdated technology. So Switch sold like fucking hotcakes. So you never know, right? Oh, we got some more viewers. Fuck, man. Everyone's tuning in just as we're ending. Oh, yeah, Ludo. He says he saw me on Darius's stream. Yeah, thanks a million. I appreciate you watching that in the comment. Right, Intellivision, now that's the name for the past. I remember playing the original as a little kid. Yeah, Blast from the Past. I'm glad someone did that. Show you what I got from the past. This is actually from when I was a kid, And I still have it. I found it in my closet the other day. So we got, what is it, Star Strike? Let me put it on the other screen so we can see it. So just to clarify, I'm not a Tommy hater. I'm not an Intellivision hater, as you can see. I just don't like the Amico, but I'm not one of those people who says it can never sell. Like, even though I don't like the Amico and I think it's a shitty idea, it could still do well. That's why I'll try to say allegedly that it might not do well. Yeah, so I got Star Strike. This was a fun game. I was thinking I should try to get a copy of this one. Or maybe it is on Intellivision Lives. I'll have to play it some more. No, to be fair, when I played the Intellivision games on my Nintendo DS, with the overlays and screens and stuff, it actually wasn't as fun as I remembered, but it was still pretty good. Now, to be fair to Darius, yeah, like a lot of cases, we're remembering this stuff from the past, and we didn't have like a lot of competition back then, so it seemed really good, but now that it's against other shit, But I was still willing to give it a chance, because I fucking love Intellivision. I think Tommy is one of the greatest guys. I know people hate him because he has a dark side, but fuck, man, do I got a dark side. So I can relate to Tommy in that one. Who doesn't have a dark side, though, right? Yeah, the old school games. This is what the Intellivision Amico was trying to do. Release, like, digital games. I almost showed you guys my login code. I don't know if that matters or not, because it probably will never come out, but... Yeah, so there's like what they tried to do with the new Amico. Now, if anyone's just tuning in, finding about the Amico, it's looking like it's canceled, but we haven't heard for sure yet, so... I'm kind of hoping that they cancel it and just come out with an actual Intellivision console, put a cartridge slot on it so we can play the old G games again on HD hookups. Holy fuck, it's like a sauna in here. I don't know if anyone can see, but I'm sweating buckets. No, I left my room closed and I got a big heater turned on, so I'll have to open it. Whew. All right, so did we cover any other slides or questions? Let's go with my Vaporizer commercial, and I'll read the chat from the viewers, and we'll try to follow up with anything that I forgot to cover. So we'll be back in just a minute, and this is the company that I tried to launch and it failed. So if anyone wants to help me out, you can like and sub to the pages in the description below for this. It's a vaporizer attachment, so you can put cannabis in it or whatever you could where it's legal. And then, yeah, then you can create vapor oil and vape. So let's show that. We'll be right back. It won't be long. Oh, yeah, I guess I'll read some questions while it plays. All right, yeah, so Ludo, thanks again. He commented that he seen me on Darius's show. That's a blast from the past. Yeah, Dr. Intellivision. I'll have to check that out. That sounds like a neat channel. Maybe he's got some Intellivision content. My neighbor had an Intellivision, but I vaguely remember playing tanks once, but that's it. Yeah, that tank game, fuck man, that was a fun game. That's why when Tommy, he showed the fucking tank game and how you use the screen on the Amico controller, I was like, you know what? That actually might be fun. Now, to be fair, Tommy or not Tommy, it's funny, I always get Ian and Pat mixed up with Tommy because they're so similar. But anyways, yeah, they were fucking talking about how it's like a shitty game. I'm like, man, look at the Switch games. How many of those are like really shitty too, right? You just never know. And then when a console first launches, what happens? Usually the first year is garbage games. And then as it starts to get its foot on the ground, that's when they start getting better developers. That's when they starting to release some better games. Whew. All right, let's go back. Yeah, so thanks anyone who stuck around. Yeah, we got a few likes, appreciate it. So I think we covered everything. What else was there? I guess we're over the hour mark, so it doesn't really matter, but I try to keep my videos under an hour these days, but man, it's challenging. Finishing quick is my specialty, doesn't always happen. Right, ladies? All right, so Amico legal battle. That's the title of today's episode. And just to be clarifying, it's allegedly gonna a legal battle. We don't know if it's gonna happen. I'm hoping it's not going to. Yeah, and I think I broke down everything from the laws in California that Pat and Ian could be facing for libel. And we covered all the laws that I think, Tommy and his employees at Intellivision could be facing. And that's the only thing I'm a little bit worried when it comes to like other channels and YouTubers that have been helping to promote it, like OBE Pete, I think that's where, was it Smash JT? He's probably jumped ship at this point too, because he's like, holy fuck, man, if they end up getting sued, Smash JT could be in trouble, because he could be an accomplice to it, right? Saggy Melons, I know she's been trying to get her channel going, and Amico was like the greatest thing ever, but there's a fucking lawsuit that goes down, she could end up in serious trouble too, right? I'm pretty sure anyone that was helping to promote the scam could be considered an accomplice. If it is a scam, we don't even know yet. Who knows? Maybe the Intellivision will still come out. It'd be the greatest system ever, and we won't have to worry about any lawsuits. So that'd be sweet. And I was thinking too, if Tommy really wanted to save face, everyone's like, oh, he took the money and he ran, well, arguably to go look after his dad, and I hope his dad praying for him. I actually just had a dream, because my uncle's actually in hospice care right now too, sadly enough. I looked after him every day for like 2 years. I can't even put the image on the screen. So yeah, I know what Tommy's going through. When you lose someone that you've like spent so much time with and you care about, it's fucking devastating, right? So especially to see them like in such rough shape where they're like in a hospice care, and it's fucking brutal, right? So if anyone wants to like cover Tommy's ass and like, you know what, we got to give Tommy some credit because he was going through a lot of hard times, and yeah, it's fucking devastating. Oh man. Yeah, I actually just had a dream last night where my uncle came to me and said goodbye, so it was pretty fucking emotional day. But yeah, that's what we got to realize in life. You got to try to enjoy the moment, and you got to remember everything's not going to last forever. Everyone that you care about is going to die eventually. We're on a cycle, right? Everyone in life, they get so caught up in everything being great, but what people seem to forget is life is a cycle. Everyone lives and dies, so fuck, man. If you get caught up in everything being so great, it can be devastating when it isn't. But really, we got to try to look at life as a cycle and be prepared, because, man, shit hits the fan over and over and over again. That's what life is all about, right? All right, so yeah, I guess we'll wrap up the show. I think we got all the comments and everything answered. Oh yeah, the Ludo Ergo. He was saying that he played the Intellivision. That's how I got it, is obviously Intellivision, the company, and me are like the exact same age. Our birthdays are almost the exact same. I think Intellivision came out 1979, December 3rd. I was born December 2nd of 79. So yeah, we're almost the exact same birth date. But I didn't get this console until like my family was a bit pov. Bad divorce, lost a lot of money. So yeah. I ended up growing up with the Intellivision because my family couldn't afford the great consoles at the time. So I just got the knockoff ones, or not knockoff, discount bin. I actually got it at Salvation Army. So yeah, I got the Intellivision original at the Salvation Army. Played it for quite a few years. Liked it so much that it was actually my favorite console. And the only reason I stopped playing it is because the fucking controller broke. So yeah, and it was one of those hardwired ones. So once the controller broke, you were fucked. Not in a good way. So yeah, I'm hoping one day Intellivision can come out again, and if it's not the Amico or it is the Amico, either way, I would like to see an OG Intellivision with just the actual cartridges, but oh well. Oh yeah, and that was the other thing. Oh, I wanted to bring up one more thing. Is Pat, luckily I didn't end it, Pat was talking about how Intellivision really could have just got a farm team of developers. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say too. That was one of the most biggest things. I almost forgot. Let's bring that up. That's usually when I do a stream. As soon as I end it, I'm like, oh, fuck, I forgot the best part. Where was it? Ah, here it is. So this is the full breakdown of Hans's thing about what he must have for experience. So I don't think anyone else really went over this, but what they were looking for when it came to that job application, we got some more details here. And, oh yeah, what was I going to say about it? Oh yeah, that when you read this over, what does it say? Must have firmware experience. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to get to. Thank God I read it. We are not looking for game programmers at this time. You know what that means? That they couldn't make the games because they didn't have the firmware and the OS. That's what it's saying here, right? So if they never hired anyone, that is why they weren't working on the games. It says it right here. We are not looking for game programmers until we get this job filled. So isn't that like a huge point of information that everyone's kind of like sidestepped or not talked about? It looks like when they posted this job interview, that's when they're like, fuck the game development. Anyone wants to help with that? Don't even bother, because we're looking at firmware experience right now. So that's where like Pat and Ian, they were saying like, look at some of the games, like Astro Smash clone. There was a guy that made a full game in 1 day. 1 day. So that's what I was thinking, like a lot of these Intellivision Amico games, not to say that they could be finished in a day, that's pretty excessive, but I think like a month, they really should have been able to get a lot of those quality games finished, especially when you look at a designer who could finish it in 1 day. So that's fucked up, right? Like, I don't know, like not to like put words in people's mouth or accuse them, but right here it's saying they weren't even looking to finish the games until they got the firmware done. And did they finish the firmware? As far as we know, it's not even done yet. So that's why the game problems, right? I know, like even No Swear Gamer, wasn't he asking? He's like, why is no one working on the games? Like they're like, sure, they use a pandemic excuse and that they couldn't meet each other, but he's like, you could still meet, right? Just over Zoom. And then Tommy's like, oh, they had to be in the physical offices or whatever. But I think this is the biggest reason. The firmware wasn't done. And it says right there that they weren't going to do the games until the firmware was done. So I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons. Oh, we got another comment in the chat. Awesome. I think most of the games, oh yeah, this is from Ludo. I think they got most of the games done for free with government grants. Yeah, like Hans's and the Germans. They were probably hoping to line up more deals like that. See, that's where I think like Pat and Ian, when they destroyed his company's reputation, and then, yeah, that's where the whole libel thing comes in, right? Because like they literally could have just released shitty games for a year, got the console's feet on the ground, and then started to hire better developers. They'd be like, hey, developers, look, we actually got the console launched. I think that would be a big thing for like actually getting it going. So that's where Tommy would have like a rightful case for libel. He's like, fuck guys, like you literally badmouthed my reputation for me and my company to the point where we couldn't launch it, and now we have like tens of millions of dollars in damages. Oh man, I sure hope Pat and Ian don't end up in prison over this, but I could really see it happening, allegedly. No, and then yeah, the games, like fuck yeah, they're such basic games. Like why they, it must be the firmware. It's the only thing I can think. That's the, really, it says it right there. Why they didn't get them done sooner. Man, only if we could go back in time and Tommy would just say, fuck working on any of the games at all. Let's just finish the console first. Yeah, and there was like a $2,000 reward, and I don't think anyone ever claimed it. If anyone knows, did anyone claim the reward for getting that job filled? I don't think they did. If they did, we probably would have heard about it, right? No, and then this is talking a lot more about what the games are supposed to do. You know what I bet you it was? The hardest part was like not only the controller, not only finishing the games, but the actual hardware for like getting it to work for downloading the game. Like if it was just a cartridge, it would have been so much easier. Yeah, it's the Homer Simpson car. I know everyone used that analogy for the Amico, but I think I was one of the first people to do it. Because I did a video like within the few weeks of the Amico being announced. And I was like, you know what? This is Homer Simpson's car. Big time. Not to try to take credit. I know I hear Tony do that on his channel. To be fair to Tony, I don't really like him that much. His personality is like super annoying. But he is a really good guy when it comes to making videos. Like I watch his videos and I'm kind of envious. He's very good at it. He's got a great voice. A lot of his, like when you hear him talk, I'd say he's up there in intelligence too. I wouldn't say maybe as high as Tommy, but could be. No, and then, yeah, what came to fruition too with, what was it, Tony's channel? I was telling Tony, I'm like, I know you said that you bought the Intellivision to give that money to charity, but when I heard him talk about it, I'm like, you know what? I think you bought that so that you could make money off of it, because you knew that the Intellivision was never going to launch, and he'd be the only person to actually have the console in his hands. So he might be able to resell that for millions. So he actually bought a console, gave the money to charity, and I don't want to hold it against Tony. Like, maybe he really did do it for the charity reason. Or maybe it was half and half, right? He knew he was going to make a lot of money off of it, and he did it for the charity also. Now, if I was in Tony's place, I'd be doing the same thing. I just didn't have the kind of money to buy a console like that. No, really, I probably should have put a bid against Tony, because I probably could have bid maybe once, but then, yeah, I'm sure he would have had the money to outbid me. Now, I'm pretty paw of ass, so if someone can't outbid me, that's a sad state of affairs. Now, not to make fun of my money situation, but yeah, you got to get my shit together. Darius is right. I got to get the fuck out of my mom's basement. No, and some of Darius's viewers in the chat just want to comment. They were making fun of me about living in my mom's basement or a basement, and I was kind of arguing back with them because, yeah, I do actually own a house up north, but it's condemned. So I actually do have my own house. It just sucks balls. Not a good way. Got to get that shit together. No, and I do live in the attic, not just the basement. No, that's what's so funny. When I listen to Darius's videos, he's literally making fun of me with everything he says, but at least I can take it. Now, I'll try to take the bullying and try to prove myself, not just be crying and be like, oh, bully's picking on me. Not to defend bullies, but really. God, if you can't deal with Darius bullying you. Not to make fun of Darius, but he doesn't look like that intimidating of a bully. I better be careful. I've never actually met Darius, and he doesn't live that far from me. I think it's a half-hour drive. Ooh, got a bit of a cramp, so I guess we better wrap this up. I think I'm going to have to go lay down on the couch. Ugh. Boy, that one hurt. No, I've been doing a little bit of fasting, and I called it today because I was like, fuck it, man, fasting's hurting too much. It's not worth it. Ugh. All right, so yeah, I think we got all the things we wanted to cover. This was just the post. Oh yeah, I wanted to cover one other thing. Luckily, I didn't wrap it up. Let's see if I still have it here. Hopefully we do. Yeah, here it is. Not to try to show Hans's family, so I'll just try to open it on this screen. And then, I don't know, some people don't care about sharing pictures of their family. I don't care if people see pictures of my family. If you want to try to bully my family, the fucking authorities would get involved. I don't give a shit. The cops will do their jobs. So yeah, it's like, I'm just going through Hans's page on Instagram. If anyone hasn't seen it, highly recommend signing up to it. He's got so much Amico content on here. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, this one picture here, like I literally think Hans, people make fun of him, but he was generally loving this console. Like God, even looking at that, that does look fun to me to play. Like if I looked at that and it's like, hey, pick it up, I could start playing some Bomberman or the tank game. That fucking tank game looks fucking sick. Oh man, I just wish Amico would have came out. Because to be fair to, what is it, Tommy? Pat and Ian keep going on and on about how they were right about Amico, but I don't think they were right about anything, right? Because they were saying that Amico would never sell, and we don't know that because it didn't launch. And then they were saying that it would come out, and they started betting on dates. They're like, Ian picked a date, Pat picked a date. So they were way off. The console didn't even come out. So what were they right about? No, it's the funniest thing, because Pat and Ian are like, oh, we were right about the Amico. We were right. It's like, what were you right about? You said that it was going to be shitty games. We haven't even played them. You said it's going to not sell. Never came out, so we don't know if it would sell or not. So what exactly were you guys right about? Alright, so yeah, I think I covered all the pages. Yeah, like Hans, he's one of the ones like Tony. He actually has the console. So Tony might actually have some competition if he goes to sell it, make like $1 million. What is it, Hans? He might put his up for sale too. I don't know if he's allowed to sell his copy of the Intellivision. Oh, here's a little interesting thing. I haven't read this one yet. Well, we'll wrap it up soon. Exactly 35 years ago today, began in a small village in Bavaria. Rainbow Arts. Yeah, so he does have quite a history in video games, eh? Game developer, even. So I know when Tommy was bragging about he has 600 years of game development experience, I was like, shit, guys. You probably should have said the opposite. Like, you know when you go to like a dentist or a doctor, if he's like, man, I'm using like old school stuff, you'd be like, fuck that. I'm going to go get a new doctor or a new dentist. Not some guy who's got like thousands of years experience from the olden days. I want someone modern. So yeah, that's the one thing I was thinking, that was a real fuck up. Oh, hey, Steadfast, how's it going? Sorry, we're just wrapping up, but yeah, I think I've pretty much gone over all of Hans's things. Yeah, that's the other thing. Doesn't it look like Hans actually has the Amico at his house? Like, is this his house where he actually already has the console? And that was like 34 weeks ago. So how many weeks ago is 34 weeks? So that's the thing, like people are debating if they could release the Amico. The only thing that I think they're fucked with releasing the Amico is it can't download the games. I bet you the console that Hans has, they probably put a file on the hard drive or the storage so they can actually play it right off the console. And they don't have to download it. So that's probably why they're not releasing it, is they don't want to sell them like that. Like SD card versions where you actually have to put the file in the machine. But it might come down to that. People keep saying, oh, maybe they'll just launch the Amico as is. So who knows, maybe we'll get like a Hans version where you just have to put the games on the actual console, not download them, and then play it. And if that's how it works out, fuck, man. I almost wish I would have pre-ordered it. Because, man, if we could get that thing and actually play it, like, I'm not a big Intellivision Amico fan, but I'm willing to give it a chance. I know Tommy says that you have to play it before you love it. Other people are like, oh, you could just look at it, but I kind of agree with Tommy. Like, I think if you actually played it, who knows? Maybe people would love that controller. When people mock it, they're like, who the hell would want to play on a cell phone? You got to realize cell phones are the most common video game controller in the world. Almost every gamer that plays cell phone games, they'd be more comfortable on a cell phone. So people mock it. I mock cell phone games too, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure this would be a great console for women because women are actually more adept to playing on cell phones than guys are. I don't know if you notice that, but a lot of women that when they do gaming, it's usually on a cell phone, right? I don't know how many women actually own like consoles and I'm even finding like all the girls that I date lately, none of them even own a computer. It's always just cell phone, cell phone, cell phone. So I think really when Tommy was like, hey, let's make a cell phone based console, wasn't that bad of an idea. Maybe it was. No one will really know until it came out. And it may never launch, sadly. Holy fuck, man. Like Hans goes on a lot of vacations or what? Man, he's got some awesome pictures. He's got a nice dog too. I can hardly wait till one day I get my own place again, maybe in the country, and I can get a dog. That'll probably be my next best friend. Now, I was thinking I've gone through 2 best friends in life already now, so I'll have to start looking for a 3rd soon. Fuck. And that's the one thing in life, right? No one lives forever. That's the only guarantee. Yeah. Ah, jeez. It makes me sad to see how close the Amico got, and then it failed right at the fucking end. God. Oh, well. Who knows? Maybe it's not failed. Soldier Boy might buy it. Man, 110 weeks ago. It's crazy how old some of these posts are for the Amico. They even got the Earthworm Jim stuff in there in the background to tease people with it, right? Sold out within 5 hours. Intellivision Amico Founders Editions. This is unbelievable. Thank you all. Did that really happen? Did they sell the pre-orders out in 5 hours? Wow. Or no, it was the wood grain one. Maybe that's that sold out? I don't know. God, yeah, that console does look nice. Fuck, man. I don't know, like, I'm not a big fan of the controller, but I'm still willing to give it a chance. Man, oh man, I really wish it would have came out. Like, at least then Pat and Ian could have said they were right if the Amico came out and it did tank, and then no one bought it. So then they could say, oh yeah, we were right, it tanked. But I don't think they can legitimately say they were right until it comes out and tanks. Because that's the only thing they would have predicted that actually came true. Oh yeah, we got another comment from Ludo. He says, I wonder how many dev kits there are. I think that they said they sent a bunch out to developers, but I don't believe they actually sent many out at all. Yeah, because that's what we were talking about in that last slide, right? I think the viewer's right about that. Because if you look right here, it says we are not looking for help with game programmers at this time. And when was this? In 2019, they're already saying the games have been moved to the back seat. We do not need help with the games. What we do need help with is getting the firmware and the OS. And it looks like they were desperate. They're even willing to give thousands of dollars for anyone that could even come close to finishing it. Allegedly. Now, and people make fun of Tommy's thing about it's all outdated technology. So is Switch. Every time you start making fun of the Amico stuff, you're making fun of it for the exact same things that the fucking current best system console actually does the exact same. Like, everyone's like, oh, it's going to be cheap hardware. Have you noticed Switch breaks all the time? The drift problems with the controllers, everything, right? It's a piece of cheap garbage, shitty shovelware games, outdated technology. Can't even run modern games. People buy it like fucking hotcakes. Fucking sells out even sometimes. No, fuck man, what could have been? I mean, who knows? Maybe Soldier Boy will come in and save the day. Wouldn't that be weird? All of a sudden Soldier Boy comes in, saves Amico, launches it, fucking the thing sells like crazy. Pat and Ian are like, no! Not to pick on Pat and Ian so much. I like the guys. No, I like everyone involved in this. I like everyone at Intellivision. I like everyone, Pat and Ian, all the YouTubers, even the ones that hate it and love it. This has been a wild ride. It's kind of a shame that it's coming to an end, and I hope it doesn't end in a lawsuit, but we'll see. Yeah, hopefully I don't end up in the lawsuit. No, what I'm thinking is, really? Like, if anyone wants to get those Amico games and the company's going bankrupt, if you want your gaming collection to be complete, you might want to try to get those quick. I don't even know if they're still for sale. Like, check out some of the awesome Bomberman shit I got going. That was like the ultimate finish to my Bomberman collection. Bomberman Dynablaster card, Bomberman coin, games. Like, fuck, people are saying, oh, you can't even play the game. Well, I could just go and play Dynablaster. I think someone was saying it's already out on another console. But at least now I got the card. At least now I got the coin. Got the game card. Fuck, man. I love this shit. I'm an old school gamer, so this is exactly my cup of tea. And I'm the old neckbeards living in a basement that love Amico, or love Intellivision. No, it's funny, eh? People are like, people make fun of you and you're always like into it. I don't know, I guess I'm a glutton for punishment sometimes. I probably should hate people that are making fun of me, but I don't. Alright, so I think we've covered everything. We should be able to wrap it up now. Now, if anyone's wondering how the fasting's going, I fucking called off the fasting today. Yesterday was too much. I was like, fuck it. I'm feeling like absolute trash. My fucking brain power is depleted so much. So I ate some beef today, but it wasn't actually that much. So I'm going to hop on the scale again tomorrow. And you can tell I actually got some of my wit back already. So all those couple days of eating plants and supplements nearly killed me. So as soon as I started eating meat again, bam, back to good old Leland. The Lelanders are back. No, and then I actually had an allergic reaction from the royal jelly. I'll fill everyone in about that next episode. It was a bit scary. So anyone who's doing that royal jelly shit, holy fuck, be careful. Like, man, that fucking side effect they're talking about, like if you have allergic reaction, it is no fucking joke. And I'm not talking about the bloody diarrhea, the other ones. So we'll get into more details about that. If anyone wants to check out my archive, we'll probably do that episode tomorrow. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to eat the royal jelly again, because man, when I ate it today, oh God, it was the worst allergic reaction I've ever had in my life. Yeah, so we'll fill everyone in what happened. Luckily, I didn't die, obviously, but damn, man, it was scary. Whew. So yeah, we'll fill in the details about that. Not to leave everyone hanging, but you'll have to tune in. Yeah, and if anyone can help, like and share and all that jazz, let's go to the fire screen. Let's wrap it up. Yeah, royal jelly, it's got some really good effects, but it's got some dangerous shit too. So I can see why people are like, be careful if you start getting into it, royal jelly. Holy shit, man, it's powerful shit. Like, they were warning you just to take tiny amounts of it. And when I got the allergic reaction, I did overdo it. I almost ate like 3/4 of a teaspoon, and you're only supposed to do 1/4 teaspoon. So I like basically ate like, I don't know, double the amount you're supposed to. And yeah, it was horrible. I never imagined how bad it was going to be. All right, so anyways, if you happen to get any Amico news in your vaporizer and it tastes like shit, give the show a dislike. But if it doesn't happen, you can give the show a like. Really appreciate it.
Just make sure never buy the products from my sponsor, because it will ruin your life.
Bye for now, everyone. See you later. God, am I sweating. It almost feels like fucking summer, how hot I got in this room. All right, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. Forgot to give a shout out, so we'll do that before we wrap up. Show Me Retro. Sounds like he's got a channel. If anyone wants to check that out, appreciate it. Tell him that Lelanders sent you. Kyle Medina, Pavel Pevrov, Harry Patter. Looks like a lot of spammers. Naked HD. But I appreciate you for tuning in, helping fill the chat. It's kind of boring some days, but yeah, a lot of people today. Ludo Ergo. His channel looks kind of cool too. I'm going to check it out after. Hey, Dylan Barrington. Oh, Doctor. Oh, that's what his name is. His name is Doctor. I thought it was Doctor Intellivision, but I was just reading it wrong. So yeah, Doctor, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, he said he used to play the original as a kid. I know, that's what I was thinking. And Pat and Ian are like, oh, all the people that used to play Intellivision, they're all long dead. It's like, Some people actually got Intellivision used. So there's that whole used market. So yeah, obviously the Intellivision wasn't the most popular system, and it was only in the top 15, but still not as bad as what Pat and Ian make it out to be. Alright, so Ludo, or even Darius. Darius really picks on the Intellivision, but I don't think he's actually played the original. I could be wrong. So yeah, it's easy to pick on something you never tried. Naked HD. And yeah, Darius is a good guy. I'll try to call him on the show again. I fucking love his show. Steadfast, how's it going? Ludo Ergo. Oh, we got another person. Myra Cervelana. I'm saying it horribly, but I'm trying. Oh, Ludo says he actually doesn't make videos, so yeah, don't anyone check out his channel. Unless he starts, then yeah. Oh, Steadfast is saying her screen freezes all the time and it pisses her off. All right, yeah, good night, Steadfast. Have a good one. Yeah, the allergic reaction, I'll give you a hint. If you eat too much royal jelly, you get the allergic reaction that you do from the venom. So I'm wondering how much of the venom is actually in the royal jelly. That's what I'm starting to wonder. Because yeah, they're saying it's not honey that the bees are making. And it's not like, well, other substances we won't even get into because it's too gross. But yeah, whatever this royal jelly is they're making, it's very similar to bee venom. So you can imagine what kind of fucking side effects you'll get. Whew. Yeah, so thanks again everyone for tuning in. We got up to 3 likes. Awesome. So yeah, if anyone can help out with likes and shares, really appreciate it. Bye for now, everyone. See you later. Oh yeah, let's give a shout out applause to everyone. And I'll do the exit at the same time. Later. Back in my day, I used to play Intellivision. Now, back in my day, I used to buy drugs from gangs. All right, see you later, everyone. Bye. Exit. Exit! Exit! Night, Lugo. Have a good one. Holy shit, it's almost midnight. Man, I'm gonna have to crash. Alright, see you, everyone. Now let's try to think positive. Hopefully there will be no lawsuits and the Amico legal battle will be consistent just to this video, and that'll be the end of it. Let's hope. See ya. Have a good night.